I'm going to try to be kind by saying that Jimmy Carter was one of the worst presidents in modern history. Not the worst. That's Joe Biden. I mean, we're talking from Warren Harding to Franklin Pierce to Andrew Johnson. I mean, of everybody, Joe Biden is number one. But in terms of being ineffectual, absolutely horrible, just a great campaigner against Gerald Ford, a smart guy, an honest guy, I think a really good person, and somebody who had some guts to dare to go head to head against AIPAC and the Israel lobby. But short of that, he was horrible. I mean, horrible. And I'm not, mocking his death. I think he was a good man. He was 100 years old. It was a good life. And what his family did when they dragged him out with his mouth agape, he looked like Angelo Bruno, and they dragged him out for the vote for Guatemala. Despicable. Despicable. That wasn't his fault. But he was the worst. Now, I don't understand why when somebody dies, we have to say he was a great person. And President Trump gave a nice, heartfelt thing, and that's terrific. But he was awful. When he got in, I don't know what kind of a deal they made with him, but basically we got stuck with two things. Paul Volcker, the horrible Fed with those ridiculous interest rates, and Zbigniew Brzezinski, that guy who got us into all of our problems with Afghanistan, this Russophobe. He had a, pardon my French, a hard-on for Russia, and he was the worst. Absolutely the worst. His legacy will be obviously this terrible attempt to rescue the hostages. I don't know how much of that was his fault. That whole thing he inherited. Remember, he inherited Iran because of us after Mossadegh in 1953, after we basically got rid of him and put in the Shah. Remember when he wore that sweater? We suffered from a malaise. Remember the first time we had gas lines, gas rationing or gas line, odd and even numbers? Remember that? It was horrible. And you started off with such great promise. Allman Brothers, his brother Billy. Remember Billy Beer? We've got that somewhere. His sister Ruth Carter Stapleton. Remember Miss Lillian, the mother? They asked him one time, they asked Billy Carter. I think later on they were trying to get him on the Logan Act or some kind of a FARA violation. He was parading or acting as some kind of a Libyan agent or something. And they asked him, they said, "Are you crazy?" He says, "I'm crazy." He said they got a sister who's an evangelical holy roller, a 90-year-old mother who rides a motorcycle, and a brother who thinks he's going to be president. And I'm crazy? Oh, Billy was just an alky. Poor Amy. Remember Amy? Mishkina Amy? Lied. But now that he's dead, and it's sad, am I supposed to love this guy? He was horrible. I never understood how death, does it absolve you? Is it an ablution? Is that how this works? Is that the way this thing works? Seriously, is that the way we handle things? I don't know. I've got to tell you something right now, and I will say it again and again and again. We've got to be honest with history. They always say history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. Well, this history is pretty straightforward. He was horrible. And when Ronald Reagan came in, oh my God, it was just like night and day. Now again, a good man, yes. Remember when he said he lusted in his heart? It was during the Playboy interview. Remember that? Let me get rid of this damn. I say lusted in his heart, and I get this reaction thing. Anyway, remember when they asked him about the Playboy interview? Have you ever fooled around? He goes, "Well, I've lust in my heart." I don't know what the hell that was about. Why? Playboy used to really kind of mean something. I thought, well, that was kind of interesting. Jimmy Carter lusting? They were just ordinary people. Rosalind Carter was, they're not bad people. I think I interviewed him one time years ago when he wrote some book. The fact that he had the cojones to go after Israel, oh dear God, that was something nobody ever even saw coming. That was an amazing, just in terms of the temerity, the absolute temerity, the intrepidity, the balls to go after them and to stand for what you believe in, and to go, that, hats off. I respect courage. Anybody who goes after Big Pharma, Big Ag, or the gun lobby, or any huge monster lobby group, I think that says something. Because we lack guts in this country. We lack intrepidity. We lack, you know what, cojones, or as we say in West Tampa, C.O. Jones. So in any event, Jimmy Carter, look, a good man, an honest man, a decent man, but he sucked as president. It was the worst, and always will be considered one of the worst, most ineffectual presidents ever. I think he was the first president born in a hospital or something. I don't know. Look, I know this is going to be construed as me mocking him or being disrespectful. Death is not an ablution. It doesn't resurrect a lousy legacy just because you're dead. So that being said, and let me just leave you with this. I'll say it again. When they paraded this poor guy out with his mouth and that death rictus, that was disgusting. He could have voted. I didn't even know where. I would challenge the vote. In a country where we're challenging the legitimacy of people being able to vote because they're in some kind of coma, and you bring him out, they're basically, yeah. All right? So anyway, James Earl Carter, thank you for your service. Rest in peace. Thank you for your service. But that's about it. Now, I found something else, which is another tragedy. 78 or 87%, I forget which one, of the people who watch my videos don't subscribe. For the love of God, to put out this message of honesty, come on and subscribe. And do me and yourself a favor, my friends. I ask you a simple favor, very, very simple right now, to comment as you see fit.